Every November, one of my favorite YouTubers, Peanut Butter Gamer, would do Zelda Month to commemorate the release of Skyward Sword in 2011. To sum it up, only Zelda videos during that month. It could be serious, it could be silly, as long as it was Zelda. And although he hasn't really done it in recent years, I find add on the Zelda Month, the topic I don't really see talked about often, the Zelda Manga. Now, I grew up with the Zelda Manga. I have others, in like a box. There's the only ones I can find. I've read all of these multiple times, and all of these, most of these, are pretty good adaptations of the games. I've always loved these for expanding the world in Zelda, giving Link an actual personality, and elaborating on certain plot elements and characters that the game maybe didn't get the chance to. Akira Himekawa, which is the pen name of two female Japanese artists, already offered for all of the manga, and recently they just finished up their Twilight Princess adaptation, which went on for almost 8 years. And after reading it, I think it might genuinely be one of the best adaptations next to Four Swords because of how much it does Twilight Princess right. Not perfect, but it does a lot well, and I want to talk about one of the things that did extremely well: shade. Now before we get into it, this is probably the only time I'm going to be able to talk about the Zelda manga, so let me talk about the things I love in this series. Himekawa has always done an amazing job with the adaptations when it comes to the characters. Since Zelda plots have a ton of side quests scattered around, with the main story being pretty open in terms of space between the major points, Himekawa is able to have a lot of leeway when it comes to what they want to shove into the story. This comes with original content that varies on execution, but most importantly, Link. Link is a blank slate, and it allows Himekawa to do whatever they want with him. Even though in most iterations he's still the brave hero, each version of him has different arcs that split them off from each other, besides like, oh, this is the cartoon Link, oh, this is the realistic Link, or some stupid stuff like that. And I'll say right now, Four Swords is probably the best adaptation for this reason. It gives a lot of depth to each of the Links, and since the original game was just point A to point B, Himekawa was able to make a heavily original story that is really entertaining. All these praises apply to Twilight Princess as well, along with other factors, aka gore. The Twilight Princess manga is a lot more graphic with blood and gore put on a level that I wasn't expecting coming from the previous manga. It's edgier, and I mean that in the good way, not like letting Link say fuck or some shit like that. It's more so diving into the dark implications that were there in the original game. Zant taking over the castle is supposed to be scary and brutal, so here's him killing someone. When Ook the monkey is being controlled by the parasite, he goes on a rampage killing everyone, including his own brethren. These are things that were stated in the base game, but here it's dived down deeper to be more graphic, to show how dangerous it really is. I am just scratching the surface, and it's not just gore it dives into the characters more as well. It helps that Twilight Princess already had a pretty good cast with some character development, so having it be adapted with more detail is amazing. Characters like King Bulblin get a bit more screen time for the development, and it makes it way more redeeming when this arc is complete. You keep hearing me say it goes into more detail, right? Okay, let's talk about shade. Spoilers for Hyrule Historia, Twilight Princess, and the Twilight Prince manga. And if you don't want to be spoiled, I suggest to go binge read it right now. It's only 58 chapters. But anyway, Shade in the original game appeared as a white wolf that would help Link learn special sword techniques in the skeleton form. It was heavily implied in-game that this was the Link from Ocarina of Time with both visual and audio clues. And in Hyrule Historia, it was indeed confirmed it was him, with the book providing more detail on what happened after Majora's Mask, since it's the same Link from the child timeline. It isn't heavily detailed, but after Majora's Mask, Link grew up chilling, I guess, saying he died with no children or offspring. Damn. He grew up in a world that didn't need saving. He already did in a different timeline, so no one knew what he did. The reason why he teaches Link is to pass his techniques and courage down, because he wasn't able to anyone else. Now here's the thing, I don't think Shade was done particularly bad in this game, so I'm sorry for the potentially clickbait title. For the game, it works. It serves as a gameplay way to teach Link new moves, and also a story reason, but it's the fact it's a previous Link that has always bothered me. There's so much potential there, and I understand why they didn't pursue it, because each game focuses on its Link, and Zelda games try to rely too much on continuity and sequels, except in the rare scenario, but it bothers me so much. I want to know everything about this Link. What does he think of seeing his reincarnation? What does he think of the cycle of Link, Zelda, and Ganondorf? What does he think of seeing Ganondorf after killing him that long ago? These are the questions I thought of when I found out this is Ocarina of Time Link. It's rare we get any mention of another Link or see another Link, so I'm intrigued. Will my curiosity be satisfied? Well, not in the game, but let's talk about the manga. Shade actually first appears as a wolf by Midna's side when Zant takes over the Twilight Realm. It's an interesting retcon that doesn't really have much of a payoff, but I'm down for alterations. It's not like anyone reads these. The best thing about original content is that you don't know what to expect when it's introduced, and that leads to Shade's second appearance. Link has an interesting backstory here. He grew up in the desert with his friends trained to be soldiers, and one day pulls out a sword that literally teleports it out of existence. And by it, I mean the entire fucking city. While everything's getting sucked up though, Link is grabbed by a very familiar figure before he wakes up alone. Okay, fast forward, Link getting his arm cut off, meeting Midna and Zelda, blah 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 blah. Okay, next time we see Shade is in Kakariko Village, defeating some shadow beast before Link gives chase. The scene that occurs after with Shade plays out like the regular scene in-game. Fast forward to after getting the Master Sword, Link becomes power heavy. After being told he's the chosen one constantly and receiving the Master Sword and seeing just how much power he truly has, it gets to him. He starts losing it mentally, and instead of thinking strength is used to protect the innocent, strength is a treasure of itself. He enjoys fighting and enjoys killing, and right before he finishes Bulblin, he's interrupted by Shadow Link. Yeah, this one caught me off guard. Shadow Link is in this, and serves as a reflection of his resentment, his fear, guilt, lack of confidence, and it turns out it's just Zant fucking with Link to break him down, which works. But before he's able to deal the final blow, Shade comes in for the save. Shade talks to Link and basically lectures his ass and makes him think about everything he's done and why he's done it. Why did he do what he did? To be a hero? Or was it just to be accomplished and have trophies and the like? In this part I really like, Shade elaborates more on the power of the Triforce, how it heightens us, and how it doesn't choose whether to be good or evil, it's decided from the hands of the holder. And Link asks why. Why was he chosen for this? Why is it something he can't escape? And in this amazing scene, Shade tells him to keep walking his path, to be a true hero, because he is the one who has walked the same path. We get a close-up at Shade, and it's him, Ocarina of Time Link. You see how more involved he is in this story? Again, not shitting on Twilight Princess is fine, but I like this version more. If you're gonna have a past version of Link be here, let him help Link. What the fuck were you doing during my final battle? At least say some shit like, alright, so use a ball to deflect those orbs, it worked for me 100 years ago. This Link is younger / a teenager and susceptible to his flaws and failures, so having him be mentored by someone who had his childhood rushed is such an amazing idea. His words mean more because he was a kid when he was forced into this role of saving Hyrule, and at the end of it, he wasn't rewarded or given an accomplishment. No one knew what he did, which is why him asking Twilight Princess Link why he did heroic things is important. Going forward a few chapters ahead, we get a scene regarding Princess Zelda and Ganondorf regarding reincarnation. It is absolutely amazing. The interesting thing about the trio of Triforce wielders is that they're all reincarnations. The same Zelda, the same Ganondorf, but not the same Link. Obviously this is limited to the manga canon, but every Link is different, while everyone else is the same. Ganondorf laments that when he was banished to the Shadow Realm, his memories of his past life came back, the one where he got killed in the adult timeline, and Zelda retrieved her memories back when uncovering written records, realizing that she was the one who wrote them. If you've ever watched Ruby or Attack on Titan, its reincarnation works similar to that, with the memories sort of merging but being a different person in a way. It's more akin to Ruby though, because eventually the two people merge, just like in the Twilight Princess manga. We get flashbacks to the direct events of Ocarina of Time, and it's a really nice fan service moment. And it gets even better when Link heads to the Temple of Time and reverses back to the past, where we get a vision of young Link putting the Master Sword in and transforming to adult Link. It's here where Shade finally reveals who he is, and like Zelda and Ganondorf, is completely aware of the reincarnation and wants to help Link save Hyrule once more. During the final battle, Ganondorf gloats to Link that no matter how many times the hero defeats the villain always comes back. He's immortal! And right when he's about to kill Link, Shade comes in and says, the villain may be immortal, but the hero is eternal. And Ganondorf's face like, oh fuck, he's still alive! After Link and Shade do a father-son combo, thus completing his training with Shade, Shade finally says goodbye and thanks Link for everything. He wasn't able to have children of his own. He died alone with nothing to give. It's not like Zelda or Ganon who merge into one. They're their own individuals, so it's not the same. As he disappears, he says to Link, go forth boldly, my son. And as he departs, Zelda takes one look at him and cries. It's a really heartwarming scene because right now, this is the Ocarina of Time Zelda. The one who was Sheik, the one who helped Link take down Ganon, the one who sent Link back in time 7 years ago. She knows what this Link has gone through, how he never got noticed, and with the way she talks, it's like she hasn't seen him in a very, very long time. And then, he's gone. One thing I really enjoy about this adaptation is that it doesn't elaborate on what happened after Majora's Mask. The details between that game and Twilight Princess are never explained, and I like that. The only thing changed is what he does in the game itself. Himekawa was clearly given a lot of freedom to do whatever they wanted, and I love what they did. I think it hits more for me personally because this is technically the same Link from Ocarina of Time. This is the same Link I grew up with, when he got that stupid baby fire dragon he had to kill, when he drank that moo milk. This is the same guy. He's old now, matured, and I've grown up with him in a way, so it's really nice to see this interpretation of Shade as like a mentor figure. And some of you may be worried that Shade overshadows Link in a way, but I can promise you, reading the series, he does not. It might come off that way due to how I structured the video, but he only has a few moments. He's a supporting character, essentially. It's like how in No Way Home, the other Spider-Man are supporting characters and help MCU Spider-Man grow due to their own experiences. The same thing happens here, and I'm glad they went that route. It's just enough screen time to satisfy old fans while using it to make the story way more interesting. If you guys do have the time, I recommend reading all of the manga. It's a good time, and you should read it from the starter releases all the way to Twilight Princess. You get to see the evolution of Himekawa's art and writing style and how much it improves, how the strokes get thicker and more detailed. For Twilight Princess, they even have a little drawing of Twilight Princess Link and Ocarina of Time Link, and they say they haven't drawn that man in 17 years. God, this manga has gone on for so long. And that's it, I think. I've been wanting to make this video on the Zelda manga for so many years now, since like 2019. And this specific video idea was actually in the back burner of my Discord server for about 3 months. It's kind of nice that I'm finally able to talk about it. And of course, you should read it if you can, and also support the official release. I got the whole like a set collection like a while ago, like almost a decade ago, which is why I can't find the books anymore. It's like somewhere in the box. But there is a one for the Twilight Princess that I showed like an image in a video, which you can get. I'm probably gonna get that when the money's right. I'm definitely gonna get that because it's so good. When I was trying to get panels of the manga, all of them were such low quality and fan translations. We can just get the full version right here, the full beautiful version right here. So yeah, get the official release. Anyway, that's all from me. Happy Zelda month for anyone who does that kind of stuff. That's kind of been a lost art form over time. Very unfortunate, but really glad if I could talk about this. Maybe I should talk about Four Swords when I get a chance. I'm red, by the way. I'm the red Link. I'm the red Link. If anyone says otherwise, I'm gonna kill you.